Three people already. Oh, someone's gonna leave. I should start juggling or something, maybe, to keep you entertained. Hmm, looks like one person left. So I'm not sure what people expect when they come here to these satsangs, but lots of times they pop in and then they see that there's not much action going on, so they leave. But this is about our true nature. So I'm sitting here in my true nature, which is just perfect contentment. There's no thoughts going on. There's just pure being. There's no doing, there's no thinking, there's just being, and it's complete contentment and happiness. So that's all that's being expressed here. And if there's questions, then maybe there'll be answers. Because when you've found what you're looking for, you're done, right? There's just contentment. There's no more seeking, there's no more questions. It's just you're done. It's just conclusion. So think of completion. Think of a big goal that you've set for yourself, and then it's completed and it's done. A job is done. So then you're done. So when the quest has concluded, you're done. There's no more reason. There's no more need for thinking. You are God. God doesn't need Robert or Robber. God doesn't need whatever you think you are. Everything's magic. There, between the lines of the narrative, as it goes from one narrative to the next, it's magic that goes that ex- it doesn't matter how acute or how high a resolution your description provides. there's still always a gap between the explanation of it and it, the thing itself and how you're describing it. There's always going to be a question mark in between those two things, in between the description and the thing. So there's always magic. It doesn't matter. In the end, there's if you're describing things with language and that's how you describe things, language is a representation of something, and language is finite. So if you have infinite potential and finite ability to describe that potential, what's the purpose of a symphony? To me, it doesn't follow that there's anything that there's no purpose and meaning. That's what science has done. Science has removed all purpose and meaning to life, but that's the very purpose of life, is to find the meaning of life. That's the purpose of life, is to find the meaning. So this is why humanity as a whole is completely lost and suffering more than it ever has, because we've science has removed all meaning and reason to existence. So everyone's just going around doing stuff, not knowing why they're doing stuff, just doing a bunch of stuff and suffering greatly. How can you, how is it possible to find the why by investigating how? So science is all about how, how, what, when, where, like those W5s. Now, who, what, when, where, who even, did I say who? But science can never come up with the why. There's no way that science can answer the why question, and that's the only question that matters. See, there is purpose and meaning to the number system, but mathematicians and scientists and philosophers and everyone doesn't know what math is. They don't know the meaning of numbers, and I've discovered the meaning of numbers. So there's meaning and reason to the number system, and mathematics has incorrectly interpreted what that information is. Well, what did Richard come to a conclusion as to why? But why ice is slippery is different than why is there ice? Why is there the experience of slipping on ice? Why, like, basically, why are we having this experience? Why are we even able to ask the question why? Why does the question why exist? See, when there's no purpose and meaning to life, then the it just leads to trying to fill the emptiness with more emptiness. See, the this life is a mystery to solve. That's what it is. It's a mystery to solve. Hey, Paige, I didn't think you'd show up at all today. So why is there pure randomness? And just because, see, science calls that which what science cannot measure, they call that chaos, right? They call that random. But it's the opposite. It's the higher level of order that is beyond measurement. Science, scientists, all they can do is measure, right? That's what science is measurements. And see, this the second law of thermodynamics, it means that everything operates at a higher level than what science can measure. So science says that everything's moving towards higher degree of chaos and lower degree of order, but that's according to the measurement of science. So the order of the universe is at a higher level, kind of like the wave function. The wave function is probably a higher level, a holistic, everything occurring at once, right? Everything happens at once. That is the higher level of causation, is that the entire world flashes on and off, in sequence, all at once, simultaneously. There is no linear causal effect as physics. There is no physical causal relationship. Physical things do not cause the actions of other physical things. It's all an illusion. So the randomness, the disorder is actually that which can be measured by science is the disorder. See? It's the divine order of how this operates is a higher level than what science can measure. So they call it randomness. But it's just they can't detect it. That's all. And of course, if it's not a thing, then by the English language, according to the English language, it can't even exist because it's either thing or nothing. Right? If it's not a thing, it's just nothing. It it doesn't even exist according to physics. If physics can't measure it, if a physical tool device that scientists have developed can't measure it, If the measuring device, whether it's a telescope or a microscope, can't detect something, then according to physics and scientists, then that just doesn't exist. According to the English language, which is materialism is hardwired into it, it just doesn't exist, right? So science has everything exactly inverted. So they're exactly wrong. They're perfectly wrong. They're 180 degrees wrong, which makes it tricky because in the mirror image, it looks like you're describing things, but it's completely inverted. So yeah, you're describing something, but it's the inversion of reality. So science is describing the inversion of reality. It's a describing exactly what reality is not. Bye bye then. I don't know why you're here. If you're not agreeing with me, then go live your life go live your meaningless life somewhere else. It's far more fulfilling and rewarding to have purpose in your life rather than just whatever. Than not having any reason. Knowing the purpose and meaning for life is better than not knowing it. It's better to not suffer than to suffer. Science is the way. All right, well, show us the way to what? So, science is the way to what? So far, humanity has followed science as the new religion, and look at look at the state humanity is in. Humanity is insane, is off the charts, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. Like the overall condition of humanity is degrading, right? We're even just in my lifetime, obesity, anxiety, mental illness, murders, suicides, like everything is getting worse, right? Suffering within human species is increasing. So how can you say that the path that we've taken is the correct path? So okay, well, so has human consciousness is humanity experiencing less suffering than it ever has because we're following science? Right? If science is the way, if science is truth, and we're following science, then you'd think that life would be improving, right? That our subjective experience of this world would be improving, but it's not. It's degrading. So we're exactly going the wrong way. But somehow we've been brainwashed to think that it's truth. We're told one thing, but yet we experience something else, right? Is humanity is experiencing more anxiety and more psychological suffering than it ever has in its entire history. And we're moving towards killing all life on the planet. So it's part of our delusion, it's part of people's delusion to not being able to recognize how fucked up we are. Right? The thing about being in delusion is that you don't know you're in a state of delusion because you're in a state of delusion. Well, regardless of how you think science should work, this is how it's working. Science develops technology. That's what science does. And that technology has what? Humanity helplessly addicted to the technology. Human consciousness is helplessly addicted to the screen. So we're being programmed. This body is being programmed by the voice in the head following science. Science will what? So so after 400 years of the scientific method, suddenly it's going to start producing good stuff, right? Suddenly, all of a sudden, there's going to be a brand new revelation, a new discovery, and all of a sudden it's going to eradicate all human suffering. How does science affect psychological suffering at all? I think non-conceptuality will change the world. I think that learning to find your own innate happiness and contentment, the natural state, finding your natural state is going to change the world. How? Now imagine if every person on the planet was content and happy just sitting in a chair, just being, just living, just sitting in a chair like me right now, just being completely happy, not wanting anything, not desiring anything, just sitting here in happiness. Now, how would that change the world? If everyone could just sit in a chair and be happy without doing anything or consuming anything or going anywhere or burning any fossil fuels, or if everyone was content in and of themselves, how would that change the world? How will that stop climate change? Am I burning any fossil fuels when I'm sitting here in a chair happy looking out the window? I'm not buying anything. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not over consuming. I'm just happy in and of myself because I'm not searching for an external source of happiness because I know that isn't found because everything is unsubstantial. See, all experience within the physical realm, all experience is as unsubstantial as the playing of a video game. So it solves everything. It solves every single problem that humanity has if you transcend the voice in the head. Yeah, well, not if people like you come to these satsangs and then I tell you how to live life. I tell you directly what to do in order to end all suffering within yourself, and you don't do it, well, that's not my fault. If everyone was just happy in and of their own existence, there would be no climate change, right? No one would be burning, no one would be using more energy than is required for them to just exist, because their own existence is the source of their happiness. Let's say that science finds the theory of everything and we have cold fusion and unlimited energy, unlimited free energy. All right. So that's the ultimate end. The conclusion to science is that we find the theory of everything and we have free energy for everyone. Everyone can do exactly anything that they want, and it doesn't even hurt the environment. Would would that make people happy? No. No, it wouldn't. So even if science could gets us off the planet and takes us out of the solar system and all everything that science can do and technology can do, it has zero to do with our subjective experience of happiness and suffering. Zero. It all of this is distracting, and that's the purpose of all this life is to find the mystery, to escape the labyrinth. But the the space isn't nothingness. It is the reality upon it's the frame of reference upon which all experience is focused against, right? So that is the reality. The reality isn't the appearance. The reality is always the backdrop upon which the appearance arises and passes, right? So every single experience, test this out, every single experience arises and passes. So from where does it arise and to where does it pass? It's the same space, but again, we have it inverted, right? That's the nothing of the thing nothing model. So again, language is reality inverted. Language, the English language, has thing as as one, as positive, as fundamental reality, and they compare everything. Physicists and materialists assume that the physical realm, the realm of the sensual experience, is fundamental, and then they compare everything to that, but it's inverted, right? This is the appearance. Upon waking, the entire world, upon sleep, the entire world goes away. And then it arises upon waking again. So the frame of reference, the reality, is the non-experience. It's just the experiencer sans the experience. It's the observer not observing. So the zero or the nothing that we consider to be a lack or a void or a non-existence, that's the reality. That is the frame of reference upon which everything arises and passes. I mean, materialists shouldn't even, I don't even want to talk, I can't even talk to materialists any, like, it's so completely obvious, especially physicists. Like science itself, physics itself has revealed that the realm that we experience through the senses is not fundamental reality. There's no thing at the base of things. There isn't a thing at the base of things. The base of things is not a thing. And particle physicists keep trying to prove, and string theorists even are trying to make the physical realm fundamental reality, but it isn't. And they just can't accept it. They just keep trying to prove that the physical realm is fundamental reality, instead of just understanding what Heisenberg's uncertainty principle is actually saying and going, oh yeah, okay, well, we've done that. We've investigated physical reality to such a degree that now we know that the physical realm is not fundamental reality. That's the big discovery. So now they just put that memo, Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, they just put that in the waste space, in the recycle bin in their computer, They just ignore it and they just keep on going with physics. Like, what don't you understand about Heisenberg's uncertainty principle? You can only ever know half of what there is to know everything. So science, physics, knows exactly half of the illusion. So that's what physics is and science is doing. It's describing half of the illusion. It's not even touching reality. It doesn't even, it infers reality, but only by inference. Physicists need to understand that they're not the body. This is the human condition, is that human consciousness has come to the evolutionary stage of self-awareness where we realize we're not the body. The fundamental, the physical realm, including the body, is not fundamental reality. So self is not the biological body. I hope that deer isn't in my garden. Ugh, it looks like there's a deer in that garden. How did it get in there? Well, either this is a real short one or I'm going to come back later because I got to go attend to that deer. That These freaking deer. I don't know how they get through my fence, but they're smarter than I am. All right. Either I'll see you next weekend or I'll see you in a later today.